Good afternoon, everybody. Or good evening, rather. Today is a very special day. Today is a day that all the queens are celebrated, really looked upon for all their contributions. Today is what they call, or what is titled Mother's Day. And when I think about Mother's Day, I think about my mom first and foremost. I think about the struggles, the trials and tribulations, all the things what it takes to be a good mother or a good mom. I think about how many households are led or ran by individual mothers or individual moms. When I went through a lot of the things that I went through to become the person that I am now, because at one point in my life, I didn't know how important women were. I didn't know that each woman should be looked upon because the beginning comes from her, and how without a woman there could be no man. I think about when I used to be on the streets before I went into incarceration. I used to listen to Tupac all the time. And I remember one of his favorite quotes when I became very knowledgeable is what Tupac said. He said, we got our game from a woman and we got our name from a woman. And that sticks with me today. And that's some of the things why I always pay homage to women today. And not only on Mother's Day, but for every day for the most part. Because I know how important women are in its totality. But the thing is, a lot of women, you have to question, do they know how important and how relevant they are to civilization, to men in general, to young ladies, things of that nature? Because not only on Mother's Day, I'm talking about for every day. Because like I said, a lot of y'all are leading the household. A lot of y'all are the focal point of that household because the brother might be incarcerated. He may just be a deadbeat. He may be a lot of other things. And you have to hold yourself in such high regard and such high esteem that you know what you bring to the table, as far as in knowing that no man could survive without you. No genuine man could survive without a woman. But the thing is, what I'm trying to hit at is, a lot of times I look at women and I look at the way they conduct and they carry themselves, and I'm be like, I know that I'm still gonna respect her as the beginning and the end, but the way she's conducting and carrying herself, why should I hold her in such high regard? And the reason that I mention those type of statements and the reason I mention those type of things is because every brother is not of knowledge. Some brothers just see this as Mother's Day, and then after Mother's Day, listen, they go back to like any other day. But not for me. And the reason I make these broadcasts and I hit home with certain points of importance is because, just like I see in a lot of my other broadcasts, whether it be a man or a woman, we always got to conduct and hold ourselves in high regards to be respected in the utmost. And for women, it's very important, because what I had to learn to identify with, and when I think about how my mom raised me, a woman can instill all kind of morals and principles in a man, but she can't ideally shape or focus him into the ideal man that he's going to become as he progresses in age. But the thing that's important is, because women, y'all talk to us from the womb. Y'all talk to a child from the womb. So y'all are the first teachers. Everything that you come out your mouth when you have a child or when you carrying a child in your womb, it got to be of a positive light. So therefore, people wonder why kids be so intelligent when they come from the womb. It's because they know their mother's voice. They know their father's voice from in that womb. But the thing is, regardless if they know their father's voice, they hear their mother's voice more than they hear their father's voice. Because y'all the one carrying them inside of you for 9 months in its totality, hour after hour, day after day. So that's very important. And the thing, what I'm saying is that women, listen, y'all are the beginning. Y'all are the beginning. And if any man looks at you other than the beginning, and you know that you're the beginning, you should instill those same morals and values and principles that you instilled in the child that was in your womb, because we come from your womb. All the intelligence and everything that we are depicted in our mindset as we progress in age, it initially comes from you. I'm gonna give you something. Well, my mama raised me. My mama didn't play. And a lot of times I think about the values and the principles and the jewels and everything that she instilled in me, and I still remember to the day, and I'll be 46 in a couple of days. And the reason I say that, because she's a good mom. I'm talking about she was an excellent mom. I'm talking about she was somebody that I can compare another mom to, even though everybody is individual and everybody is different, and say, you know what, she was a good mom. She taught me a lot of good things. She gave me a lot of good jewels. But in comparison, you got to question yourself when you're a mother, when you're raising a male child, when you're raising a female child. What are you giving that child? What are you teaching that child? Because a lot of things that I have to tell people all the time, it's not always about just college and getting a master's and a bachelor's and all that. All that is good, because knowledge in itself is great. But I'm just saying, what are you teaching them as far as in their characteristics? What are you teaching them as far as in how you conduct and carry yourself around men? Especially if you have a daughter. Because one thing about it, a lot of times when I was raised up, kids and parents used to say, do as I say, not as I do. But now is not the time for that type of language. Now is not the time for that type of image. Because then when you saying do as I say, but then when they see you cursing and they see you doing it, they see you entertaining men after man and doing all this kind of stuff right there, they're going to mimic those types of behavior. And then now you want to whip the child for being fast, or being doing what she do, and she's just mimicking what she saw. And that's not to pinpoint or to point fingers or anybody. I'm just saying that if you are the beginning, if the woman is the beginning, and even if she doesn't know she's the beginning, and another sister knows she's the beginning, and she's trying to give you the information so that you can conduct and carry yourself as the beginning, that's something you may need to take heed to, because it's very important and it's very relevant, especially in this time and age. A lot of times, one thing about a woman, and one thing about, as far as in comparing it to men, and which y'all be in the beginning, and so forth and so on, a lot of time when you have that male child and when you have that female child, you need to chastise that kid, chastise that male, chastise that female, because don't just cover up their wrongs. A lot of times in these days and ages, when the child gets older and you say, oh, that's my child, he's dressed in the flashiest gear, he polo every day, he name brand every day, but you knowing yet and still that she's misbehaving or he's misbehaving, that's up to you to conduct and carry yourself and pull that male child up or pull that female child up and get along the same range. Because now in this days and age, our people aren't really conscious in their acts. Meaning when they're not conscious in their acts, I'll give you an example. I've just seen my Instagram page a few days ago, and I don't know how old it is, a brother filming himself while he's getting chased by the police. And he talking about, mama, I love you, and things of that nature. But the reason I give you this example is because that little young brother, he's no longer here. He's no longer here. The reason I compare those types of things is because when you have a child and a mother is the beginning, when you have a child, don't cover up his wrongdoings if you're going to cover up his or her wrongdoings from everybody else, but still chastise the kid in the house. That's the only way that a brother like me who grew up in the street is going to respect a woman. I had to learn do it the hard way. I had to learn 19 years in prison to be able to ideally respect a woman and love and show care and concern, not just from one woman, but knowing that another female she could be somebody's mother, even if she's not a mother at that particular time. I'm looking at her as ideally in my mind, stating that, hey, one day she may be a mother. So even if she's a child, I'm still like, yes, ma'am, and things of the nature. And then young people hear me say, yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. And they be like, well, why you say that? Are you younger than me? The reason I do that is to plant a conscious and a biblical seed within that person to let them know that they should be conducted and they should be respected in whichever walk of life that they choose to be into. But back to the woman, in comparison to what I do, you're more important than me. The reason you're more important than me because I'm a male. I don't have a womb. I don't carry a child 9 months. I could be here and there and gone in no time. If me and a woman rocking, and back in the days, if I had a child, and if I ain't rocking with her no more and I got another woman, I'm gone. But you can't just, a lot of times women don't just separate from their kids. A woman is left with her child. So if you're left with that child, it's up to you to make sure that they keep the momentum and the direction that will carry them to be the best individual that they can be in this given day and time. Let me repeat that. You got to give them the information that makes them be the best person that they could be in this day and time. Because if you look at this day and time, every time you look at TV, every time you look at broadcasts, every time you look at Instagram, every time you look at all this stuff, girls twerking, girls doing this, doing that. I'm not, and it's nothing wrong with it because I'm a male. So sometimes I look at that kind of stuff. But I'm saying you can't be in the limelight on every angle, on every corner. It just don't work right like that. It just don't work right like that. You can do your thing, not saying you can't do your thing, but be aware of the information that your child is in the pinpoint and she's back watching, or the male child is back there watching. Because just like I said initially in the broadcast, man, hey, listen, we get our name from a woman and we get our game from a woman. And then one thing about a woman, when you raise a child, your child is your child. I used to tell my child all the time, listen, I'm your parent first and foremost. I don't have to be your friend. A lot of times you women have to always remember that if the male is a deadbeat, if the male is not around, choose to be a parent first and foremost. It's okay to be a friend, but you don't have to be your child's friend. Always remember that. You don't have to be your child's friend. It is a blessing by God, Allah, that you are able to be a friend with your child, your female child or your male child. That's a blessing. But first and foremost, be a parent. I got my son. My son is in prison right now. And my daughter's up here and she's a beautiful thing. But this is what I tell them all the time. If that respect is not due, I don't have to be your friend, but you can believe I'm gonna be your parent and I'm gonna chastise you just like I'm your parent, regardless if you grown or not. Don't make no difference when you step across that line. But the thing is, the reason I'm gonna chastise them when they step across that line is because I was a parent. Before I went to prison, while I was in prison, and out of prison, I'm gonna be a parent first and foremost. I'm gonna be a parent first and foremost. So to y'all beautiful ladies out there, to y'all beautiful ladies on this day right here, I love y'all. But I don't just love y'all on Mother's Day. I love y'all every day. I love y'all for y'all kind and caring ways. I love y'all for all of the things that you contribute to. I love you for y'all mindset. One thing about women hold the most careers, they hold the most money these days, and they just doing their thing. So you gotta respect it, because if you don't respect it, you just, and this is a word I don't even use, you just in a way hating. You just hating. Because one thing about women right now, they doing their thing. One time it was the man running things. Now it's the woman doing her thing. And I'm in Atlanta, so I know as far as in comparison to the Florida, in Atlanta, it seems like everywhere you go around the globe, the women running stuff. But the thing is, you gotta conduct and carry yourself like you running stuff. You gotta conduct and carry yourself just like the Egyptian times when people be painting pictures of all these different colors and all these different ethnicities. Like we were the rulers of the civilizations. Like we were the first people here where you can't even chase our time and tell how long we been here and all that here. But then let your history and let them colleges and all that, they'll tell you anything. They'll tell you any and everything. Like, you know, it was the white Egyptians. But then when you talk the white Egyptians couldn't even stand in the sun. So now you talking about Cleopatra and Nefertiti and all these beautiful women who rule civilizations. And it ain't no different then than it is now. It's just that we have went so astray from that mindset. So we just have to get back on that mindset. So on this day, man, I just want to tell all the sisters who out there being good mothers, man, I love y'all. And y'all keep it up. Because I'm here for you. I'm praying for you. Just like that. Y'all already know.